They now enter a garbage dump room to change their clothes, but the main character is still not used to. As they fly, she says you'd be surprised of how rarely people looked up. At the headquarters, Robot greeted them and is delighted that she brings the boy from last night and informed them that the other two are on the mission right now. It's a perfect timing because he is about to follow their teammates and wants them to come along. But first he briefed them about how he erased some of the brute's memory from last night. And now they are following him to his secret base to recollect on what he is doing at the warehouse in the first place. All three of them ride on the flying motorcycle and the boy is surprised of how much faster it is than him. They now sees the villain walking to a building but discreetly hovering from above. Inside, the goon talks to his comrade and says he forgot about the assignment and the other guy reprimanded him of how important those processors are, to power up the robots. He added that it is crucial for them to act fast and the plan must not take long. Right away, they were interrupted by the three heroes swooping into the room. The villain tries to grab into one of them but immediately was punched by Invincible. Robot breaks their computer and then fights the leader. He also defeats him with a live wire. He finishes him off with a knockout punch, winning the battle. He praises the kid for being helpful and offers him if he would like to join their team. Mark says that he will think about it. At Reginald Vell Johnson High School, there's a meeting going on about 3 missing students and everyone is concerned. The principal tells them they have reported it to the police and if there's any question, he's just in the office for the rest of the day. Later, Mark is bothered about the incident and Eve tries to cool him off. He is also concerned about Todd being so nice to Eve, and added it's because she's so attractive. The girl has mistaken it as flirting and reminded him that she's dating Rex. That made the boy blushes because that's not what he means. After that, they still decided to have lunch together at the cafeteria. Later, Mark is a little bit embarrassed for what happened a while ago and then breaks the ice about asking on hero stuff. She informed him that there was a bombing that happened earlier but Robot didn't gather any evidence because the scene were all disintegrated. After lunch, Eve asks if the boy intends to join the team so that Robot can brief him about the current situation. But the boy seems like to have other plans and tells her that he still needs to go to work later that night. He added, aside from hero stuff, his father is forcing him to work in the Burger Mart because it builds him character, he says. The two now part ways as a friend approaches Mark and asks if the two are an item. The main character assures him that she is not his girlfriend. At the Burger Mart, he is doing his job looking tired and all. Suddenly, his boss is calling him out on why the fries aren't ready yet, reminding him waiting customers are not happy customers. The boy shows little to no care at all and his boss reprimanded him again, then tells him to just take out the trash. Mark with a smirk on his face tells his boss that he'll just quit. Then off he goes, taking off his uniform as he walks away. Soon later he instantly regretted his spontaneous decision because surely his dad is going to be mad. That night, the family happily finish their dinner and then his dad asks about his work that day. Mark smiles, and says he's going to do the dishes. But both of them wash the dishes as Nolan understands that his son is now an active superhero. He suggested that Mark should just quit flipping burgers instead. The main character just says, I think I could manage that. The day after, he tells his father that he would make a last patrol around the city by air and then Nolan suggested that he should tag along since it's about time they teamed up. Mark smiles, and then happily agrees to it, so off they go to the sky as a duo. Nolan then praises him that his son is doing great work for being new on hero and a protector. Then his dad left in a jiff and got back right after, saying he just saved a burning science lab. He now asks his son to go to lunch with him. Later, Mark wonders if it takes a lot of practice to keep up with Nolan. His dad replies, as you get older, your powers will increase and you are able to fly faster. But there's no guarantee that Mark will be as strong as his dad. The boy doesn't really care if his powers would not get stronger as a message alerted Nolan and says he's got to go. 1 second his father is gone and then asking his son now that he needed his help on this one. An invasion of alien spaceships is happening and Mark is overwhelmed of the chaos around. So the two head into action right away, fighting the enemies left and right. Mark is somewhat complaining because the invaders are just too many and then Nolan notices, it's because they are pouring out from some kind of a portal. The hero takes a good look on the alien, and then punches right off back to its lair. His father says it will take eternity for them to defeat them, unless they figure out a way to somehow close the other dimensional hole. The two has no idea just yet as they fly through the sky fighting more enemies. After some time, they notice that the invaders are getting slower and Mark says that his opponent is aging by the minute. Nolan theorized that they must have a different time work in their dimension. The battle is getting easier for them now that all enemies are getting weaker. Nolan marches on punching more of them and even lifted their huge battle machine and tosses it into the sky. The invaders got scared, and seems like they are all retreating back to their dimension. But the rage on Nolan's face still lingers and his son got worried. After that, they decided to leave the battle zone. Mark asks if his father's rage doesn't go away that easily, but Nolan assures him that he's just fine and doesn't happen a lot. He also informs Mark if the battle just got out of hand, he will immediately call for the Guardians of the Globe for a battalion of reinforcement. His father suggested that they should head back home before his mom worries. But another emergency came to Nolan's senses in a nearby lakeside mall, so without thinking twice, off he goes to that direction. Mark seems to be losing vision of his dad because the speed difference is staggering. They entered the mall's rooftop, then he sees his father holding a civilian and he's questioning him who strapped the device on the guy's body. The dumbfounded guy just woke up and is clueless of what's going on, but it's too late for him. Nolan has no choice but to toss him in the air as that guy explodes in midair. The boy realized, the civilian is one of the missing students at school. As the father is analyzing it, an invader from before surprises him from behind and abducted him right away back to the portal. The son is left bewildered after the hole instantly disappeared, but then he leaves the place and plans on what to do next. First, he heads straight back home and his mom says she thinks that she is going to get used to them both being late coming home from now on. Mark confesses right away that his dad has been abducted by the aliens to a portal, so he won't be coming home for tonight. His mom just shrugs it off and replies that they will be eating more pork chops then. The hero now seeks help from Robot while he's investigating the processors. He asks about Eve's whereabouts and Robot replies that she's out with Rex on a mission. Mark really needs to talk to her, but the comrade is curious and reminded him that she's dating Rex, in which the main character says that's not what it's all about. He added, it's about the mall incidents, as Robot tells him he's well aware of it. He explains that the device is somewhat connected to the human circulatory system of the subject. It's all in the residue after the events, but he'll soon find where it's coming from eventually. Rex and Eve now enters the headquarters and the boy tells them that the mall incidents are connected to the missing kids from their school. Rex felt terrible about the news. Next he pecks a kiss to Eve and bids farewell again. Then Robot just tells them just go home for tonight, he'll figure something out and inform everyone by tomorrow about the next plan. At home, he notices that his mom is still up late at night and then reminded the young man that just because you're wearing tights doesn't mean you don't have a curfew. Mark chuckles, but is still concerned if she's worried about Nolan. His mom felt sad knowing the worst of what will happen to her husband. It reminded her also the long 6 months Nolan was gone, and missed Mark's birthday that year. The day after, Eve and the hero talks about the current situation. Mark felt guilty of not overthinking about it and the girl is not impressed by it. He defended himself that there's not much else to do when there's no lead to start with. She just explains that there are plenty of possibilities but there's no really direction for them. Mark wishes it's just a big monster that they could punch. Subscribe to watch more videos like this. Click on the notification bell, and leave a like to support the channel. Thank you for watching.